Hey ballerinos! Those of you who have been around for a while know that one of my favourite things in the world is just hopping on a fucking train and travelling across the country and visiting friends and just trying out new places and having a lovely time. And with the pandemic, that's really not been possible for a long time. Until recently. A couple of weeks ago I did a little loop around the south of the UK and I sort of half-heartedly vlogged it, and I wanted to talk with you guys about it. Hey ballerinos, so I'm going on a wee trip and I figured I'd take you guys with me. Tonight is my last night of work before I'm free for like 2 weeks. And I've just realised I forgot to order my meds. Hopefully they go through tomorrow before I get a train down south. Stay tuned. To start off my week, I was on a night shift at work. I finished work at 5 AM, got home, well no, had a couple beers to celebrate being on holiday. It's 5 AM, but I've just finished my shifts, so cheers. Had a little sleep, packed everything, and then I went off to Manchester for a gig. It was my first gig since the first lockdown and it was wonderful. The supports were Cody Frost, who I had never seen before, but the second those drums kicked in I was sold. Like, I love them now. I almost got emotional when I first felt music like go through me again. Then Dolskin was supporting. I love Dolskin. They ended on Punch and Nazi and I was just losing my shit. I met some lovely people who were also in the crowd because it was my first gig by myself as well. And then it was headlined by Hot Milk, who, if you follow me on anything, you will know I adore. Their first EP was very much like my getting divorced EP, and I said this to some people in the crowd. I was like, if I start crying, just, it's fine, nothing's wrong with me, I'm just having a time. And then the fuckers did Glass Spiders into June Gloom, a slowed down version, so I was a wreck. Also, I'd just gotten a tattoo and I could not stop myself from continually jumping in the pit. Also, my nose got realigned, I can smell again. So, all in all, a really good gig, until I went to go home. I was leaving to go down south that morning, so like 5 in the morning I was getting a train down to London. So at 11 o'clock, I got to the train station to find my train was now a rail replacement bus. It took me 3 hours to get from Manchester to Liverpool. On a train it's 45 minutes. So I got stuck on a rail replacement bus coming home, missed my friends leaving do. It is now 4:45 in the morning and I have to go get a train to London. Choices were made. I missed my friends leaving do. I then got back and and had about an hour to get my shit together before I went down south. I got the train at 5 AM, I slept on the train, I was shattered. Got to London, went to go to my friend's house to find the Central line was fucked. And they live off the branch of the Central line that was particularly fucked. Luckily they're only just where it branches, so I was able to go to the other end. And they came with me, and I dropped all my shit at their house, then went for a lovely brunch with a friend. Before she had to dash off. And then my friends came and met us, we had some nice food, had a generally just very nice day.
It's like how hectic it was around Soho and yeah, it just comes on there.
I was exhausted, so had an early night. And then the day after that, I met up with some old pals who I hadn't seen in I hadn't seen anyone in like 2 years. That's the theme of this. And then a friend from Scotland messaged me and was like, I hear you're in London. I'm there for one night too. Now I don't know what happened, but I do know I drank 4 bottles of wine and woke up in her travel lodge instead of my friend's house that I was staying at. So then I went back to my friend's house, I had a lazy day before I went out to see Mamma Mia live. Which was wonderful. It was just such a happy show. And then packed my shit up. And I remember sitting in this seat, and I was by myself because my friends were working that day and things. So I was sat by myself. I just bought 2 beers and it cost in the double digits. And I'm northern, it doesn't cost that here, like, well, not here, but like where I'm from here. And but I was so unapologetically happy that it didn't hit. And I was sat in these seats and I'd gotten them last minute, but they were better than what I'd normally be able to afford. And I felt quite fancy, like, not to be a working class bitch, but I'm a working class bitch. Like, to be able to afford things like that felt so far out of my reach growing up, and the fact that there's a way to do it is amazing.
To Southampton.
And got on a train to Southampton. When I got to Southampton, I realised I couldn't check into the place I was staying. So I sat and waited for a pub to open after I'd gotten lost. I got very lost. It's my first time in Southampton. I got lost looking for the guest house I'm staying in and wandered around for an hour. It's 5 minutes from the station. I've gone in a circle. I basically walked in a circle for an hour when the place I was going was 5 minutes from the station, as I would discover the next day. And then then my friend was coming to meet me at the pub anyway, but another friend had seen me post something complaining about the size of my luggage and seen a little shop sign in the background and was like, hang on a minute, I live around the corner from there. So she came and met me as well. We had a lovely time. I met my friend's rats. Why do you think I have Twitter?
Come on.
There she be. And then I went back to where I was staying to find there was no lock on the door. One of the amenities they advertised was colour TV. Yeah. And there was one toilet for the entire guest house. Hey ballerinos, right, okay. So, here's what's happened. So I was in London for the past 3 days. I had an amazing time, saw a lot of lovely people. A lot of people who aren't like YouTubey, and I didn't feel right filming them, and so I won't. Which is why you're gonna see a lot of like drinks rather than people. I think my plan is to do me talking and just put these sort of interspersed, because otherwise they don't make sense as like disparate clips. It's always lovely to see people you haven't seen in a while, and obviously with the pandemic we've not seen anyone in a while. And then today I came to Southampton in a pub waiting for my friend to finish work, And another friend messaged me. I'd taken a photo and it was like quite close to the ground, but you could see the name of like a shop. And she messaged me and was just like, hey, I think I live around the corner from where you are. Are you where I think you are? And to my knowledge, I did not think this person was in the city. A lot of people have moved throughout the pandemic. I thought they lived somewhere else. So she literally like turned up to meet me, which was lovely. We love a surprise reunion, and I've had 2 in the past 2 days. So, and then my other friend turned up. We went back to hers. I met her rats, which was awesome. And now I am in a room that I thought had an ensuite toilet. I was wrong. There's a sink in the room, and that's it. Also, the room is like a room from the 60s. I don't think it's been done up since. Outside, they were advertising that colour TV was an amenity, but I can't complain. I'm having such a lovely time. I will never undervalue having my own toilet again. Right. Southampton done. Off to Cardiff. The next day I was back on a train and I was off to Cardiff. Where I had a much nicer hotel room. It was designed like every holiday camp I stayed at in the late 90s and early 2000s. So I'm in Cardiff now. Not only do I actually have a bathroom here, there's a bath. So I am going to soak in a tub because I'm not meeting anyone for a couple hours and attempt to feel a little bit clean because I feel gross right now. But I did not want to use the communal showers. Like, if I'd been there a while, I would have done, but I was there one night. And it felt like a lot of stress for something I could probably sort when I got here. Also, this hotel, the decor is like every caravan site in the sort of late 90s, early 2000s. It's giving big nostalgia. There's actually an actual phone, like a landline in my room, to give you an idea of where we're at here. But yeah, the people here seem lovely, and I actually have a bathroom, so it's already got one up on the last place, and it cost me less than the last place. So but that was kind of nice because as you'll find out, I was going somewhere that was reminiscent of the holiday camps I went to in the late 90s and early 2000s. And it was kind of like, oh, this is nice. And then I had a bath. Oh my god, I have never been so happy to see a bath in my life. And then I went out with my friend Jazz. We had drinks, we had food, we celebrated her new job, and we celebrated actually seeing each other again. So last night was lovely. Went for drinks with a friend. I know that's like a running theme, but these are people I've literally not seen in so long. It's been wonderful. And then came back to my hotel and spilt red wine all over my bedding. I feel like a bit of a prick, TBH. Now I'm gonna go back to London, I guess. One of my pals have a show tonight. I'm very excited to see it. And then I was back on a train. Had a change at Bristol Temple Meads, almost didn't make my changeover. Made it to London in one piece, and at that point I was staying in LSE Halls. I bought some earrings in the queer shop. So I'm staying in student halls today, because it was the cheapest place to stay in London. And I'm so glad I never did halls. Like, this room is fine for a night, but to live in for a year? Like, let me give you the tour. This is the sink in the corner. Some shelves and your desk. And then a wardrobe for a whole year. Out of term time you can just rent those and they're cheaper than most hotels, and my friend was doing a show at Camden People's Theatre and it was just convenient by comparison, or should have been. We'll get to it. Went to my friend's show and it was amazing. If you get a chance to see Bad Boy Disco wherever you are in the UK, you should go. I had such a good time. And then my god, then we went out. And we had a grand time while we were out, and then I was heading back and my friend was like, I'm going to order you an Uber so that I know you get back safe. Wonderful, right? I went to quickly pee in my friend's hostel while I was waiting for it, fell down the stairs, still have a hole in my knee a few weeks later. Hi Frankie. Then I got out of the cab and I wasn't where I thought I was meant to be. I don't know if I got taken to the wrong place or if I was just drunk and stupid. So then I wandered around for about 2 hours around sort of the Euston area, trying to get my bearings and work out where I was going. Eventually I found my way back to my hotel room, chucked my phone on charge and realised I had 20 minutes till I had to leave. So I was sleeping on a train again. And the next day I got a train down to Devon. My family had been my family was staying at a caravan park, but they'd got on a fancy ass caravan with a hot tub and shit. It was amazing. So I went down and met them. Unfortunately my mum was ill the first day I got there, so it was just me and my dad hanging out for the first day. We did all the standard holiday camp stuff, but this holiday camp was one I went to from the ages of like when I was a baby to when I was about 8. And it was really weird because obviously bits of it have changed, but a lot of it is very much the same. And it was like hitting me with these little memories, these snippets that I'd completely forgotten about.
Video the starfish. The starfish. Oh baby.
So that was cool. And then my dad very kindly drove me back up. My family live about 60 miles away up north, so he was like, I'm not stopping, it's a long drive, so I'm not going to drop you in Liverpool, but if you come back to ours it's cheaper for you to get home, and it is by quite a lot. So I did that, got the train back. My heart was so full. I have spoken on here about how I'm an extrovert by nature. I don't think it really hit home how much I was until I'd gone without it and then had it back. I'm very grateful for the wonderful friends I have scattered everywhere, and I can't wait for the next chance I get to see them all again. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this silly little vlog, and if you did, please give me a cheeky like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye!
Just a quick note,